Change Reaction. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and documenting the journey from brick and mortar corporate America to the online world of business. Found myself a couple of years ago with the opportunity, huge opportunity, scary but huge, to blow up my work life, my financial life, my entire life, my relationships, everything as part of my divorce. I needed to divest myself of all of the things I'd been doing with my ex-husband and pick and choose and decide for the first time in my life, what did I actually want to do? What was I curious about? Because I'm old, but not old enough to really be retired and done. So I needed to find something else that I wanted to do that didn't have anything to do with the businesses that we had done together. And the internet's something I've always been interested in, but I really never had the time or the energy to explore it while I was busy running a bunch of different businesses. So in late 2016, after sold the final business and divested ourselves of that, found myself with a unique opportunity to say, well, what do I want to do now? And I decided I would take advantage of the opportunity to explore the online world. My original intention was to duplicate my offline corporate and business success online. I guess it's still kind of my intention, but it's not my driving force. It's not what causes me to get out of bed every day and move through my life. Now with COVID-19, a lot of us are challenging with what are we doing and how are we showing up in the world, and all going through this massive change at the same time. Simultaneously, our world is changing and growing. Guess what? Our world's always changing and evolving. It's just that we're usually all doing it individually at our own personal pace. Well, right now, we've been thrown into a situation where millions and millions of people are simultaneously having to go through change and challenges, and it's having a definite impact on the world and how we feel and how we interact and how we respond with one another. It's in some ways really good, in some ways not so good. I'm finding that sometimes people are just not as kind and understanding and patient as they used to be. And that's because people are under huge amounts of stress and strain right now. Me included, but not so much. I don't let it bother me so much. But change reaction, I entitled this today, Change Reaction, because we're talking about that in the Get Up and Go Challenge. Day 6 of the 30-day free August 2020 Get Up and Go Challenge on the Get Up and Go Challenge page. And at 11 a.m. we do a lesson every day to help. My intent with that challenge is to help people install in themselves a way of dealing with challenges and change and obstacles and failures and whatever pops up in their life in a way that always serves them and makes sure that they're better off after that challenge and that situation than before. And sooner rather than later. I mean, in the past I've had challenges that I had to work my way through and figure out. And it took me in some instances years, if not decades, to learn the lesson and actually deal with that particular change or challenge that I had. You know, right now I'm still dealing with my divorce and the impact and the ramifications of that. Now, I don't want it to take me years to figure out, right? But there's other changes and things that have literally taken me years to work through and figure out. Had a sudden cardiac arrest in 2010. I pretty much worked through that, but every once in a while something will pop up to remind me that I need to pay attention to my health. I need to make decisions and choices that always put my physical well-being as a foundational way of ensuring that I'm here to have energy, that I'm here to show up, that I can continue to do the things that I want to do and serve in the ways that I want to serve. So change, it needs to be something that we as human beings interact with, because it's inevitable. Change is as inevitable for each and every one of us as death, right? We're all going to die someday and cease to exist on the planet, but we don't have to live through that. But we do have to live through and figure out and determine how we are going to respond and react to the ever-changing world in which we live. And we can do it in a reactive, I don't have any control way and focus on the problems and how life isn't fair, or we can focus on what we can control, what we can change, what we are capable of doing. And that's different for each and every one of us. So the purpose of the challenge is to make sure that every person knows with 100% certainty that they can be better off after any kind of change or drama or trauma or thing that happens in their life than before, if they decide to. And then to install that as a foundational way of being so it becomes automatic. So many things we struggle with because we don't install them in our life and let our subconscious take care of them for us. One of the things that comes to mind is, everybody always teaches, think positive, think positive. Just every time you have a negative thought, turn it to positive. Well, guess what? We have an average of 80,000 thoughts a day. So tell me how on earth any one individual is going to take any of 80,000 thoughts and make them positive. You might catch yourself once or twice a day thinking something negative and say, oh, darn it, I don't really believe that, I want to think positive. But that's still 78,998 times, or 79,998 times that you're going to miss those negative thoughts, and they're just going to keep playing in your head and playing in your mind. We are so inundated and surrounded by negative messages and things that it's impossible for us on a conscious level to ever expect that we could do anything with that unless we install and we have some foundational systems that we use automatically. We put them in our subconscious to filter out some of that nonsense, to filter out the things that don't serve us. So that's why change reaction came to mind today when I'm like, yeah, we need to know, number one, how do we respond to change right now? How are we reacting? How do we respond? And then tomorrow for the challenge, I will show people how to flip that on its ear and turn it upside down and make it work for you instead of against you. Fun challenge today was all about coloring in your favorite colors. So making a drawing or a picture that's all in shades or tones of your favorite color. So what's your favorite color, number one? And colors, I think my favorite colors probably changed a little bit over time, but ever since I was a little girl, I've loved the color like peach and corals, and they're like kind of like pink, but they're a little happier than pink. So, and a little less girly and a little more tomboy than pink. So peach, I would say, was my favorite color. So sometime today, my granddaughter and I will make an all peach drawing. I guarantee she will make an all purple drawing in shades of purple, and then we'll share that on the fun challenge today, because doing one fun thing every day is very, very important for our sanity during times of massive change. And I don't think there's a person on the planet that would say we are not going through, as humanity, a massive global change right now with respect to COVID-19. And I will call it, I don't call it anything, I call it COVID-19, or the virus. And guess what? This is something we're going through, but I hope we're all learning huge lessons from it. Because if we think it's never going to happen again, we're absolutely positively deluding ourselves. So one of the biggest gifts I think that COVID-19 has given all of us, whether we appreciate it or not yet, is the wake-up call to say we need to prepare ourselves in our lives for handling changes, for handling challenges, and knowing that they're always going to come. I know that I used to believe when I was younger, oh, if I just have enough money, if I just make enough money, if I'm just rich enough, everything will be okay. And lo and behold, as I made more money, as I had more resources, what did I find? I still had challenges. I still had changes to deal with. Stuff still came up, and a lot of times they were much bigger problems and challenges than when I was younger and when I didn't have the resources and the money and the things that I thought would be my saviors. So no matter where we are, no matter who you are, no matter what your situation, we need to be resilient. We need to know that we can make it through whatever we're faced with. If we couldn't, we wouldn't be faced with it. Up to and including whatever the lessons are for you. I obviously needed to know that I could beat death. I had a death experience, literally, not a near-death experience. I had a dropped-dead experience, yet I'm still here talking. So obviously that was in my journey. I needed to learn the lessons that came from that. And that actually, although at the time it didn't feel like it, one of those change things that didn't feel like it was awesome, turns out it was a pivot point and a change point that changed everything in my life in positive ways. Like I said, it didn't feel like it at the time, but it quickly revealed itself to be the exact thing that I needed at the time if I was going to survive, if I was going to continue to be here, if I was going to get back on the track that I should have been on 20 years sooner, but I had been making choices and decisions to take me off that track. So Get Up and Go challenge, Supersize Your Business challenge today was all about, it's not a challenge, Supersize Your Business is just my business page where I share every day for 522 plus days, because I didn't start counting right away, an idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you be able to apply it and use it in your business right now? With the intent, of course, of growing and supersizing and building your business. All of us build a business because we want it to give us certain things. Maybe it's freedom, maybe it's money, maybe it's resources, maybe it's time, maybe it's make an impact on the world. Whatever it is, it's different for each of us. But generally it involves something bigger than ourselves. And to me, that's supersizing. I know supersize has this connotation of McDonald's and getting fat, but that's just because somebody used it that way. Supersize is very cool. It means I want a bigger version of this. I want a bigger version of my business. I want a bigger, greater version of myself. And that doesn't mean physically bigger. It means bigger in whatever way is important to you. So challenges are obviously a big part of my life. I'm adding interviews to the challenge. I'm going to go and do a challenge segment on my podcast, and I'm going to have lessons, and I'll probably start grouping my challenges together under its own channel or something, and I'm adding interviews to that. I'm interviewing a very amazing person next Tuesday. I'm super excited about it. I had no idea until we chatted yesterday the extent of the challenges that this human has overcome. I mean, I look back and I think, no big deal, I'm fine. But if we compare ourselves to others, which I never recommend doing in a negative way, but in a positive way to help us propel ourselves forward, I just think, oh my God, I'm so glad that this man is still here with us and all the gifts that he's giving the world now. And had he not survived all these challenges he's gone through, he wouldn't be here, and the world would be, it would be the world's loss to have him not be here. So I'm going to start my interview series with him next week, and I'll probably go ahead and post the podcast and the interview the next day, so probably next Wednesday, and I'll start adding that as part of my podcast family, I guess. Again, looking for a different name besides Pajama Grandma. My podcast is Pajama Grandma Podcast, and since COVID started, I've kind of left Pajama Grandma on the side, with the exception of the 365-day fun challenge. I started that in Pajama Grandma. I actually started it 3 years ago with doing one thing every day that scares me, so I could get online and do videos. And then last year was all about doing one thing every day. I'm sitting here looking at it, I can't remember. One thing every day that makes you happy. I was thinking love, but I'm like, no, it wasn't about love, it was about happiness. So last year, Pajama Grandma did one video every day about something that makes you happy. Into this year, 2020, which was a great choice for this year, randomly picked it, but it turned out to be a really good choice, was to do one fun thing every day. So every day we just do one fun thing. But I've still been doing that under my Pajama Grandma persona. And I mean, it's me, it's Pajama Grandma's me. But I've kind of pulled out of my pajamas during COVID and just been focusing on Get Up and Go Challenge, helping people deal with change and challenges in the best way possible for them. That's it. That's all I've got today. Go out, make it an absolutely awesome, amazing, fantastic, and fun day, and I will be with you tomorrow. If I can help you in any way, ask while the getting is good. I keep saying I'm going to run out of time. I'm going to have to stop saying this, but right now, during COVID, I actually have a little bit of pockets of time. I have to mix it in with my amazing granddaughter, but I have pockets of time, and it's my way of serving and giving back. If I can help you in any way, like I say, if I don't know the answer, which gosh knows, I only know the tip of the iceberg of what I know and have experienced in my 60 years, but I guarantee I can hook you up with somebody that can help you, or something, or some tool, or some place to look for the answer that you need, so that no one is ever stuck, so that you never feel like you're frozen and stuck and you don't have anyone to turn to or ask. So, might not know the answer, but I definitely can help keep you moving in the right direction for you. All right, have a great day. Catch you tomorrow.